group of adventurers carefully walked down the hall of a dark wizard tower, plotting to steal their spellbook from right under their nose. "The library's just through that door," said the air genasi rogue as they removed a pair of thieves' tools. The sound of the tools clanking against a large doorknob when suddenly began to glow red. "Is that normal?" asked the half-orc when a large blast of lightning shot out from the doorknob and through the adventurers as they lie dead on the ground. "Hello, I'm Dr. Malloy Whittlestick, so when I was talking to Naval Coxfellow before the beginning of the Shahugan episode, he mentioned an annoying monk who broke down his door to ask him a favor. He said the monk was very lucky that I hadn't put a glyph of warding on the door or that adventurer would have been sorry. I asked him about the spell, and after borrowing his spellbook, I must say, I have a lot of ideas. Glyphs and runes are very underused. I'm sure you've seen a player activate their fair share of glyphs and wardings as they explode in a flurry of fire, ice, acid, or whatever other damage type you choose. But you can do so much more, perhaps putting in multiple hold-person spells to stop a group of adventurers from walking any further, or having it spawn a number of deadly elementals that put up quite the fight. A glyph of warding can do more than just explode on your players. Maybe you can banish them or teleport them to a presence. Now, onto runes, which aren't really in the book, but you can homebrew. Runes are basically magic carvings that can do anything, but maybe something other than, spells. That's kind of like a warding's job. Runes may be carved into a pillar that allows somebody to watch people from afar, or have an earth elemental for rune covered in their stone that gives them extra power or a few spells to throw out. We can go even further with this. Have a warlock who's covered in runes, which is where they get their magic from. Of course, talk to your DM before doing anything like this, although it would be a very interesting character. The rune tattoo could also be added to players for a hefty price. A rune artist could give a special effect, maybe giving them the ability to cast a first or second level spell. It could allow them once a day advantage or quick heal in a tough battle. Runes can also be used to improve weaponry. Runes can be quite helpful when it comes to magical items. Perhaps you can give the properties of a Mace of Disruption to a great sword, or have your rogue wielding a giant Slayer short sword. If you're in a high magic campaign, then this can be a well-known skill practiced by most axesmiths. Or in a low magic campaign, this can be a technique passed down by a family of nobles. It can also be used to improve the quality of life. Runes can cast a light spell on streets when the sun goes down, or one can cast Gust of Wind to push a boat to and fro. Runes can also be used in an assortment of ways to make combat more interesting. Perhaps a lich has set up a runes to trigger traps and spells. Players can try to scribble out the runes or use the traps to their advantage, pushing and tricking the lich into them. Another thing to consider is what if the rune is done incorrectly? If the player is carving a rune, how do they make an intelligence check? If the player succeeds, the rune works as normal, but if it fails, the rune could blow up in their face, but it could also do something interesting. A rune is meant to cure a character's poison, but the wizard who put it down failed the DC. Then instead, it could make the person who's poisoned even more sick. Never tell a player that they failed a rune. They should only figure out by attempting to use the rune. It would likely make the situation a lot more tense when they think, okay, this rune should heal me. Instead, they take a whole heap of necrotic damage. Sleep. How to get rid of runes. Runes shouldn't be able to just be removed by using a pen or something. Dispel magic may be able to diffuse a rune, but what if the party lacks the ability to cast Dispel magic? Well, maybe a successful Arcana check can be able to turn it off. Or having a pair of Carver's tools, you may be able to change the type of rune that's on the wall. Runes may explode if you try and change the runes. The party might decide that it's worth the damage from the explosion and stop the rune from giving the foe an extra 100 temporary hit points. So, that's it for these glyphs and runes. I hope I've got your creative gears turning, so if you have a creative use or trap involving these magical symbols, put in the comments below. Now please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great day.